Magandang umaga mga bata. Panibagong araw, panibagong kaalaman. Ako nga pala, Sir Nix, ang inyong guro sa mathematics. Nagsasabing, ang math ay huwag mong katakutan dahil nandito ako upang ikaw ay tulungan. At ngayong araw nga, ang ating pag-uusapan ay tungkol sa visualizing and describing surface area of solid figures. Math 6, Quarter 3, Week 7. At para simulan ang ating pag-aaral, ay sabay-sabay natin sagutan ang what's in. Identify the space figure that each object represents. Again, credit to the writers, layout artists, and illustrators of Math 6, Quarter 3, Module 7 in DepEd Bulacan. For number 1, we have can of field. Is it cube, cone, cylinder, or sphere? And the answer is letter C. Can of milk is an example of a cylinder. Number 2, we have book. Cone, cylinder, sphere, rectangular prism. The correct answer is letter D. Rectangular prism. Number 3, marble. Is it cylinder, cone, sphere, or cube? The correct answer is letter C. It is an example of sphere. Number 4, tent. A, it's a cone, B, pyramid, C, sphere, or D, cylinder. Ang tamang sagot ay letter B, pyramid. At panghuli, funnel. A, cone, B, cylinder, C, rectangular prism, or D, sphere. Ang tamang sagot ay letter A. Ito ay halimbawa ng cone. Ngayon naman ay pag-usapan natin ang nets of a solid figures. Ano ba ang tinatawag nating net? Net is a closed plane figure that can be folded into a closed three-dimensional figure. Kung matatandaan niyo sa ating nakaraang video, tinalakay natin doon ang tungkol sa net, kung saan ang net ay isang guide or pattern para mabuo natin ang isang solid figure. Ano-ano ba ang mga halimbawa ng nets ng isang cube? Tingnan mo ang mga halimbawa ng nets ng isang cube. Kung mapapansin mo, lahat ito ay binubuo ng 6 na square. Pero tandaan, hindi lahat ng mga pinagdikit-dikit nating 6 na square ay maaaring makabuo ng cube. Ito lang yung ilan sa mga halimbawa ng nets of a cube. Narito pa ang ibang halimbawa ng nets of a cube. Ngayon naman ay magtungo tayo sa mga nets of a rectangular prism. So, ang rectangular prism ay, syempre, binubuo naman ito ng mga rectangle. So, we have here 6 rectangles to form a rectangular prism. Sumunod, ano naman ang nets of a square pyramid? Narito ang halimbawa ng mga posibleng nets ng isang square pyramid. So, alin naman dito na nakikita sa inyong mga screen ay maaari nung gamitin para kayo makabuo ng isang square pyramid. Sumunod, ang nets of a cylinder. Narito ang mga halimbawa ng nets ng isang cylinder. Sumunod naman ay ang nets of a cone. So, ito ay halimbawa ng net ng isang cone. At panghuli, ay ang nets naman para sa sphere. So narito ang halimbawa ng nets ng ating sphere. Dahil alam na natin kung ano ang mga nets na pwede nyo gamitin para makabuo ng mga solid figures tulad ng cube, rectangular prism, square pyramid, cone, cylinder, and sphere. Surface area of solid figures. The surface area of a solid figure is the sum of the areas of all its faces. So tandaan niyo na para makuha ang surface area ng isang solid figure, kailangan i-add or pagsasamahin ang areas na makukuha ninyo mula sa mga faces nito o sa mga faces ng ating solid figures. Surface area is measured in square units. Kung matatandaan ninyo, katulad ng ating nakarang video, tinalakay natin doon ang area of a composite figures kung saan ito rin ay measured in square units such as square feet, square inches, square meters, square kilometer, square millimeters. Surface area of solid figures. Let's talk about first ang ating cube. Ano ba ang formula para makuha ang surface area ng isang cube? Pero bago yan, ay bilangin natin ang mga square na bumubuo sa ating cube. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Ibig sabihin, there are 6 square faces in the cube box. At para mabuo ang ating formula sa pagkuha ng surface area ng cube, kinakailangan nating i-multiply sa 6 ang formula sa area ng square. Kaya naman, ang formula para makuha ang surface area ng ating cube ay 6, then open parenthesis, S times S, kung saan ang S ay nag-represent ng sukat or side ng ating given square. Sumunod naman ay ang rectangular prism. Ang rectangular prism, dahil ito ay halimbawa ng solid figure, it is composed of 3 dimensions. We have the length, width, and height. Kung papansinin ninyo ang net ng ating given rectangular prism, makakabuo tayo ng ilang pares ng rectangle na magkakaibang sukat. Tara't simulan natin. Una, dito sa rectangle na ito. Ang rectangle ito ay ang nagre-represent sukat ng ating length at syempre ang width. Meron ko pa bang nakikitang katulad ng rectangle o sukat ng rectangle ito? Magaling. So ibig sabihin, ang length at width dito sa ating net ng ating rectangular prism ay may dalawang pares. At para unti-unti natin mabuo ang formula para sa pagkuha ng surface area ng rectangular prism, ay kinakailangan lang natin na i-multiply ang length times width at syempre doble. Kaya twice the product of the length and the width. So hindi pa yan ang formula sa ating rectangular prism. Sumunod naman ay humanap pa kayo ng ibang pares ng rectangle. Tama. So ito naman ay nagre-represent ng ating anong measurement? Ang height ng ating rectangular prism at syempre ang width ng ating rectangular prism. Meron pa ba kayong nakikitang katulad na hugis ng rectangle na ito sa ating net ng rectangular prism? Magaling! So muli, nakakita na naman tayo ng dalawang pares or na kung saan nagre-represent ng ating height and width. Kaya naman, idadagdag natin sa ating formula kanina. So we have now, of course, twice the product of the length and width plus twice the product of the width and height. And of course, dito rin, meron pa tayong isang pares ng rectangle na maaaring mabuo. At ito ay, it represents the measure of our length and of course, the height of our rectangular prism. Nakita mo na ba ang kahawig nitong sukat ng ating rectangle sa ating net ng rectangular prism? Magaling! So muli ay nakakita tayo ng pares ng ating magkamukhang sukat ng rectangle that represents our length and height of this rectangular prism. At para mabuo ang ating formula in finding the surface area of the rectangular prism, so we have now, of course, twice the product of length times width plus twice the product of width and height plus twice the product of length and height. At pag nagawa ninyo yun, sigurado akong makukuha ninyo ang tamang sagot para sa surface area ng rectangular prism. Sumunod naman ay pag-usapan natin ang square pyramid. So, a pyramid is a space figure with a polygon as its base, and the faces are triangle. In this case, the pyramid in this figure or in the figure is a square pyramid since na meron tayong square na base. At dahil square ang ating base at ang pinag-uusapan natin ay surface area, so ano ba ang formula sa pagkuha ng area ng square? So bilang pasimula sa pagbuo ng formula ng ating square pyramid, so we have now surface area is equal to side times the side. Afterwards, ano pang mga polygon or plane figure na nakikita nyo bukod sa square? So we have of course triangle, gaya nga ng sabi sa definition ng pyramid kanina. So how many triangles do we have? So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. At ano bang formula sa pagkuha ng area ng isang triangle? So the formula is base times height divided by 2. So to complete the formula in finding the surface area of a square pyramid, so we have now SA or the surface area is equal to side times side plus 4 times nung ating base times height divided by 2 to get the surface area of a given square pyramid. Now let's talk about the surface area of cylinder. So ang cylinder natin ay binubuo ng circle and of course we have a rectangle as the lateral face of this solid figure. Sabi dito, a cylinder is a three-dimensional solid that holds two parallel bases joined by a curved surface at a fixed distance. So, kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong dalawang circle. At ano nga ang formula para sa makuha ang area ng circle? That is pi r squared. At para buuin ang ating formula sa surface area ng cylinder, so let's start with, of course, SA or the surface area is equals to twice the product of or the answer of pi r squared. So, kung ano man yung makukuha ang area ng isang circle ay dodoblihin lamang natin ito since na meron tayong dalawang circle doon sa ating cylinder. And of course, let's talk about the rectangle or the curved face or the lateral face of the cylinder. So of course, meron tayong given height. Kaso, wala tayong binigay na length. But if you're going to notice, yung circumference of this given circle or any of the two circles, it will represent the measure of our length. Kaya naman, kung yung circumference ng ating circle, that will be the measure of our length in this figure. So, para masimulan natin yun, so, ano nga ulit yung ating formula sa pagkuha ng circumference sa circle? So, we have 2 pi r. And since meron tayong isa pang measurement and that is the height, so, para makumpleto ang formula sa pagkuha ng surface area ng cylinder, so we will have, of course, ayan, sabi nga ito, circumference of a circle. And ito yung ating formula, pi r. So to complete the formula in the surface area of the cylinder is, of course, twice the area of the given circle, which is pi r squared, that's the formula, plus 2 pi r, and then of course the height of this curved lateral face of this given cylinder. So tandaan nyo lang po yan, once na you are familiar with the formula, madali lang naman makuha yung ating sagot in finding the surface area of this given solid figure. And next, let's talk about the cone. So yung ating cone naman, again, meron itong circle. At sabi nito, a cone is a three-dimensional structure having a circular base and a single vertex. So, alam na natin kung anong formula sa pagkuha ng area ng circle, and that is pi r squared. So to start formulating the formula in the surface area of a cone, so meron tayong SA is equal to pi r squared. And afterwards, syempre yung ating natitirang part ng ating cone, that's the curved face of the given cone. So we have a slant height. So yung paslant, padaustos, nasa bundok yung padaustos yung sa ating bundok. So that's the slant height of the given cone. And of course, itong tinuturo to is kung papasyal para siyang pa-curve na hindi naman siya half circle, di ba? Pero pa-curve po siya. So paano siya makukuha? Ang sabi is to get that part of this cone is we have to get half of the total measure of circumference of a whole circle. Kaya, di ba ang ating formula sa pagkuha ng ating circumference is 2 pi r. So, we divided by 2 to get yung portion na pa-curve doon sa ating cone. So, cancel natin. Cancel, syempre, ang matitira lang is pi r. And then, of course, we have to combine it with the value of our slant height. So the formula in finding the surface area of a cone is of course pi r squared. Take the formula in finding the area of a square, a fair area of a circle, plus pi r. So yun yung natin sa taas kanina after we cancel yung 2, and the s, wherein s is the slant height of the cone. So yan po. Although marami tayong formula pinag-usapan, but of course, you have to be familiar at kailangan alam natin when to use this formula. And of course, the sphere. So, a sphere is a space figure with such a shape that every point on it is of the same distance of the center. So, just like ano ba mga halimbawa ito? Pwede, globe, bola, yung marble. So, yun ay ilang halimbawa lamang ng sphere. At ang sabi, the surface area of a sphere is exactly 4 times the area of a circle with the same radius. So, ano nga ulit ang ating formula in finding the area of a circle? And again, that is pi r squared. So, sabi, para makuha lang natin ang ating surface area ng sphere is we have to multiply it 4 times. So the formula in finding the surface area of a sphere is SA is equal to 4 times kung ano man yung area makukuha natin sa ating given circle or given radius ng ating sphere. So now let's move on with the independent activity 1. Sabi nito, identify each solid given its net, or identify its solid figure given its net. So let's talk about the first one. Ano kayang solid figure ang may net na ganito? Correct. The answer is square pyramid. How about number 2? That is an example of net for cube. And for number 3, that is an example for the net sa ating cylinder. And for number 4, ito ay halimbawa ng net naman para sa ating cone. At panghuli, ito ay halimbawa naman ng ng net para sa ating cube. Nakuha mo bang lahat ang tamang sagot sa ating independent activity 1? Mahusay. Again, credit to the writers, Leon artists, and illustrators of Math 6, Quarter 3, Module 7, DepEd Bulacan. And for our assessment, choose the correct net for each solid figure. For number 1, is it A, B, or C? So what's the correct net for this figure? The correct answer is letter B. How about number 2? The correct net for number 2 is letter B. That is a pentagonal pyramid. For number 3, the correct net for this solid figure is letter A. And for number 4, the correct net for this solid figure is letter C. It is a square pyramid. And last, ano yung correct net for our cylinder? The correct answer is letter A. Next, for our assessment, choose the letter of the correct answer. Number 1, it refers to the sum of all the areas of all its faces. Net, perimeter, surface area, o volume. Ang sagot ay letter C, surface area. 2, it is a closed plane figure that can be folded into a closed three-dimensional figure. A cone, B cube, C net, D surface area. The answer is letter C, net. Number 3, how do you calculate the surface area of a three-dimensional object? A, divide the area of the base by 2 and multiply by the height. B, multiply the sum of all the bases by 2. C, divide the sum of the bases and multiply by the height. Or D, find the sum of the areas of all its faces. The correct answer for number 3 is letter D. And for number 4, how many faces does the rectangular prism have? So ilan lang faces meron ng ating rectangular prism? The answer is letter B, 6. And for number 5, which solid figure has a polygon as its base and the faces are triangle? A cone, B pyramid, C rectangular prism, D sphere. And the correct answer for number 5 is letter B, pyramid. Sana ay marami kayong natutunan sa ating pinag-usapan ngayong araw tungkol sa visualizing and describing surface area of a solid figures. Muli, ako nga pala, Sir Nix, ang inyong guro sa mathematics na nagsasabing ang math ay hindi mahirap, lalo sa mga batang tulad ninyo na may pangarap. Paalam!